Hello everyone. Yeah, quick comic update. So as you can see here, real issue 9 print copy. And the reason I wanted to quickly show you, and I'll just show you here as well. So you'll get a copy of the comic, and we're hoping to get some extras in there. So for example, you might get bonus comic. Thank you very much, Canary Comics. Which of course leads me to another update, which is we have the full collection is now available at Canary Comics. So if you're quick, you should be able to get the whole 10 issue collection, which is phenomenal. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to Ollie and everyone there because, you know, incredibly supportive and not just in terms of being the best in terms of sales, but, you know, genuinely decent and wanting to get it out there and genuinely sort of committed to independent comics, which I think is fantastic because it's not easy at the minute, and I appreciate any support that we get. Basically, what's happening at the minute? So, like I said, we had a really good Norcon, and that was great. We've now posted out all the UK ones we've had so far. So, if we get any more orders to post out to UK, obviously we'll get on that. But the next up, we've got some ones to get out. So Luis Yamamoto has ordered, like I said, the whole series, which is amazing, and I'm really chuffed with that because it's one of those things you always kind of hope for, but you know, until it actually happens, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So I'm very grateful, and you know, he's been an amazing supporter for us, and I appreciate him doing that because, you know, any support we get is brilliant, but you know, that's pretty massive. So, you know, credit where it's due. And of course, this is where we get to next, because I did get a question come in. So we did like a Q&A thing, requesting it out, and then I got a question afterwards. Someone messaged me on Instagram. So Sebastian Dawn, who does Turbo Fox Comics, was asking, you know, what do we do next? And I will be talking about this more. What I'd really like to do is to kind of get the conversation going after we've got the final trailer done, which Jimferno is working on. There was a bit of a delay because there's been some bad storms in his area, and obviously, as much as I, you know, want to get the trailer out there, there's a couple of things with that, which is one, you know, if you don't have access to electricity, online, etc., well, if you can't, you can't. You know, that's not their fault. But also, you know, if you're in a situation like that, obviously, like, person's safety's got to come first, and you want them to be sort of able to do that. We are in the process of doing more commissions for. So IDW Fan 53, in case you don't know, has done an amazing job with his short story series, which the main story's finished now. I think he wanted to do like an epilogue story as well, but basically the main sort of thrust of it is done, and just bless him, just worked so hard, and I'm really impressed. I think, you know, the effort that went into it is just amazing, and you know, it's a decent read, and it's interesting, sort of, like I say, someone with a different approach, and sort of not just in terms of an alternate idea, but just so well done. But yeah, really good. What I will say, like I say, when people sort of ask, you know, about kind of what we want to do next, I can't stress this enough. You know, the more support we get now, the more we can do. So right now, there's a couple of smaller goals that I want to get done. So once we hit a certain amount, I'll be able to, around about 200, I'll be able to get like a final update done on the website, which of course in turn helps support an awesome local business. I mean, Visualize, who've been fantastic for us, and you know, obviously you want to help out the people that help you out. And then like I say, trying to get the people in for commissions, and you know, I would like to do more stuff like that as well. And this is where, you know, I've got to sort of talk about this, because obviously people have supported us on sort of Patreon, Kobe, etc. for ages. And I think obviously recent times it's been tough for some people have stopped, and of course do what you got to do. If you're in in a situation where you can't continue supporting someone because, you know, you've got to sort yourself out, you know, financial situation, totally fair enough. I will never ever have a go at someone for that. However, what I will say that you do have to keep in mind is any amount of support. If you can do £1 a month, if you can do, you know, a one-off, whatever, anything you do is helping us produce this. One of the reasons why, for example, something like Patreon's been so good is because, you know, we've been able to have a regular amount that we've been able to keep aside for artists in order to get these things done. So I'm hugely grateful to everyone that did that as long as they did. And obviously, like I say, with Ko-fi, you know, you got the one-offs, and Indiegogo, you know, let us to do this trailer on a level like we otherwise wouldn't have been able to do. And I'm not ruling out future Indiegogos, incidentally, but I do have to say, and I'm not saying this to have a go at anyone, because as a community, I think the people involved with the comic, the people, if you like, on the outskirts of it, phenomenal. And I'm not having a go at anyone, but you know, it is really important. Keep sharing the links, keep commenting, keep backing, because the more you do, the more we're going to be able to do with this. Because it can't just be we raise money and then there's no reaction. Because if I post that trailer and people don't, you know, sort of get it out there, and we don't get the hits, it won't get out there. And that will make it hard, because I want to pitch this. I want to do an animated series. And everyone will say, like, oh, wouldn't it be lovely to do this? The great thing is now is that I'm seeing more independent producers, and they actually can make it, and they actually do get it out there. And in some cases, incredible quality. And I'm really impressed. And I want to see what we're capable of. And I think we can get this out there. I think we can do a series. And I want to. But there is a trade-off. And the thing is, it's like being, you know, in training, you know, like, you know, in the Rocky films, you know, it doesn't go, oh, I'm going to have a fight today. Oh, I've won the fight. You know, there's all the bits in between. And we need your help for the bits in between, you know. And like I say, anything you can do, it helps. You know, liking videos, subscribing, sharing, everything, absolutely everything. You know, and I've noticed, like, recently we've had some videos have some really good, well, relative for us, bigger hits, and it does make a difference, and it does help it get out there. So please do what you can. You know, I really mean this, because we've got pretty far as is. You know, the fact that this series is finished, the fact that we've had some really good, like, trailers, we've had some really good moments, if you like, and I'm very impressed with the work people have put in, and I'm so grateful. But if you want more, and I do, and I think if you're on my level and you want to see the animated content, you want this to get out there and be a thing that more people engage with, well, please do what you can. Much love. Bye.
Well, howdy folks, this here is Lenore Zan, aka Rogue of the X-Men. That's right, and I'm coming to you today from Providence, Rhode Island, to say thank you so much to everybody who contributed to Reynard City. I think that beautiful show deserves a lot of attention and success. And in particular, I want to say thank you to the backers. That would be Rev 701, Sios the Spaniel, Joe the English Otter, and Van Hikari. And then as well, we'd like to say thank you to Nicholas, Joe Draco Pedersen, Emily Bandicoot, Eli Reynard, Delisle LaFortune, and the entire Reynard City creative team. So keep on creating, folks, and I hope to meet y'all in the future.